Hey, good Monday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we have had quite a busy weekend, a very busy last week as well. However, the winds of change are heading in the other direction, and we are seeing a calmer start, a calmer Tuesday for the work week. I guess it's still kind of the very beginning of the work week for tomorrow. We are going to see calmer, more tranquil weather tomorrow. However, today we've got those early morning tornadoes going on. We saw one over Tallahassee this morning, so we were tracking that. That was a big conversation amongst the Mets this morning. However, for tomorrow, it starts to quiet down. That hail risk is very, very low this week, at least it is for now. I'm watching the very end of this week and into the weekend for those storms to return. So if you're ready for some quiet weather, enjoy it while it lasts, because it will not last long. Taking a look at your hailstorm highlights from this weekend, we did have a pretty decent storm down in southern Oklahoma this weekend. This was near Wichita Falls, near the Broken Bow area. Actually, I'm sorry, not Broken Bow. This is the wrong update right here. Near Wichita Falls, down in the southern portion of Oklahoma, max hail size here, just larger than the size of a golf ball, impacting tens of thousands of people in this area. And now, Mena, Arkansas, right outside of the Wichita Mountains over here. This is just across the Oklahoma and Arkansas state line. The max hail size in this area was just larger than the size of an egg, just larger than the size of a lime, just across the mountains and then up into the central northern portion of Arkansas. Over 36,000 people impacted by this storm right here. Again, those are 2 3-stars that we tracked over the weekend. Now what we're seeing is that big wind and tornado threat. That was really what we saw both Saturday, Sunday, and this morning. We've got lots of wind reports in here, lots of tornado reports as well. So yesterday was a big wind day for us, and then this morning we saw lots of tornado reports down in Georgia and into Tallahassee, as we mentioned. So I do think that's what we're going to see today. We're going to see that high wind threat and the tornado threat. That'll be the main thing. Off to the east, where we're still holding on to those warmer temperatures, but you can see behind that front, yes, it's a big cool down for us. Temperatures today are much colder than what we saw last week. We even saw snow in Oklahoma City yesterday. We got a little bit of snow. It really didn't stick to the ground. It melted on impact, but it was gorgeous, and it was freezing in the morning yesterday. Warmed up in the afternoon. I think that's what we're going to see today as well, where it's cold in the morning, warmer in the afternoon. Slowly we will start to warm up as temperatures are above average out to the west, and then those will slowly bleed across into the plains and then out to the east as well. So temperatures will kind of do that. We talk about this all the time, the roller coaster that we go on this time of year with temperatures. So we'll slowly warm back up as we head into the middle of the work week. Now what's happening right now, we talked about those storms out to the east today. There's your cold front. The rest of us, pretty dry out there. Nothing else going on except for some rain off of the west coast and maybe a little bit of snow and rain mix up in Michigan. Other than that, it's pretty quiet out there, which is great news for all of those who need a break from storms. I'm looking at Arkansas specifically. Arkansas last week was just round after round after round of tornado and hail and wind risk. But now we are dry with temperatures in the 50s across Arkansas today. 58 in Oklahoma City, 57 up in Denver. Much colder the farther north that you go, pretty typical for this time of the year. Pretty dry out there as well. Look at all of that dry air that's just intensifying as we head into the next 24 hours. All of that moisture farther down to the south into Florida, and we'll talk about the storm risk down in Florida tomorrow. We've also got a very low storm risk up in the northern plains. Other than that, it is dry. It's chilly, we've got high pressure setting in, and that usually means calmer and quieter weather. Now let's talk about the risk for today, and then we'll get into the rest of the work week. Here we go with that risk today. It's a level 2 highlighted there in yellow. Some of these cities have already gotten hit this morning, Tallahassee being one of those. This line, excuse me, a little hiccup there. This line of storms is going to continue to track closer to the coast, and as it does, I think it's going to lose a lot of that power. So could we still see some strong wind from this today? Yes. Are we probably going to see that hail? Probably not. That tornado risk is going to be on the board for the rest of the afternoon. Heading farther up to the north, we still have some wet weather up here. However, I'm not worried about the severity of this. You're going to see some snow mix in here for some places, especially with that cold air that's moving in behind this initial line of storms. Other than that, it's pretty quiet, at least for now. Tomorrow, we will start to see some storms pop back up in the northern side of the U.S. and in the far, far southern side of the U.S. down in southern Florida. So I think we're headed down to southern Florida. There we go. Okay, down in Miami, just a very, very small portion of the far southern side of Florida, including the Keys, could get some storms tomorrow. So this is for your Tuesday. It'll be on and off rain the entire day tomorrow. High wind, low tornado risk. Extremely low hail risk. Now, if we were to see any hail tomorrow, that would be in the far northern portion of the plains, anywhere from the southern side of Montana into Wyoming and into South Dakota. Still, I think this is a very, very low chance for tomorrow. I didn't even make a hail forecast because I didn't think that we were going to see any hail tomorrow. And I still don't think that we're going to see any large hail. If we do see any hail, it'll be the size of a quarter or smaller. But I wanted to mention that. We could see those storms up in the northern plains, most likely non-severe. Moving on, Tallahassee got those storms earlier this morning. However, now everything has been moved off to the east, Valdosta, all the way up to the north into South Carolina. We still have a watch in place here. I'm going to skip through some of my slides that I had set up for that tornado warning earlier today. That tornado warning was on the west and north side of Tallahassee. It was a confirmed tornado several times throughout its lifespan, and then it started to weaken. So today, if we do see any of that hail, quarter size or smaller, but I don't think that we will. I don't think that we'll see any hail at all. I mean, look at your hail risk here. It's barely even on the board. Your significant hail model shows very, very small hail. They're highlighted in white. So for my hail forecast today, I said low risk, and if we get anything, it'll be small. But honestly, I even questioned making one. Why would I make one if I don't think there's going to be any hail? Let me show you. I actually left the far eastern side, just like right along the coast, just completely off of this map because it's really hard to get hail in there anyway. If we do see any of those severe attributes today, it's going to be in the form of high wind and strong tornadoes, or spin-up tornadoes. So here you go. There's your wind risk for today. Jacksonville, Savannah, Columbia. It's possible that you could see some high wind here. And then your tornado risk is still on the board for today. It's a level 2 from Columbia to Savannah, down to just outside to the west of Jacksonville, but then a level 1 for everyone else. That risk will go down significantly as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. Taking a look at your rainfall totals over the last 24 hours here, much more impressive, down to the south and to the far corner of the panhandle of Florida, southern Alabama, into Georgia as well. We got some pretty good rain over the last 24 hours. Now taking a look at what we're expecting into Wednesday and Thursday. Still no severe risk during these days. However, every now and then you could see a strong storm or two. Do I think that these are going to go severe? Probably not. We'll probably stay pretty quiet, at least through Wednesday, if not also through Thursday. Now, we're seeing in some of our upper air models that Thursday we've got a low pressure system coming in here, and that is creating a stronger forcing down to the surface. We'll see if they can get enough of a moisture return in this area over the next few days to see those severe storms. It's possible. It's a low chance right now, but it's possible, and I think that's where we're going next. Yeah, here's your upper air models here. So what we have over the next few days is a high pressure system setting up out to the west. This is why temperatures are starting to warm up out here, and slowly as that high starts to track a little bit closer to the central portion of the U.S., we're going to see those temperatures warm up as well. Now, as we get into the later portion of Thursday, you start to see this low pressure system with some of those stronger jet streaks try to sneak in. It's not a perfect setup by any means here, which is why there's still a lot of inconsistency of if we're actually going to get those storms or not. However, as we head into the early portion of next week, so this will be this weekend into next week, we're looking about 7 days out now. So models get less and less reliable the farther we look out. So things here could change. However, we do have another low pressure system. We start to see those stronger jet streaks. We start to see those oranges and reds, which is what we want to see for storms, start to creep into our upper air models. And so we may see that severe weather return by the end of this week, maybe this weekend, maybe early next week. Again, it's too soon to tell exactly when we're going to see that severe weather. It's a low risk right now, and it'll stay quiet over the next few days. So that's what we do know here. Taking a look at your future temperatures, we're in the 30s up to the north, 50s and 60s down to the south. It's below average for this time of the year today. However, we're warming up for tomorrow. Temperatures top out in the 70s here in Oklahoma City tomorrow. We've got the 70s down in Dallas, 50s up in Kansas City, and 60s and 70s in Denver. By Wednesday, temperatures just get even warmer. We're starting to feel that spring-like warmth come back into play by the middle of the work week, and especially the end of the work week, as that warm air starts to track a little bit farther to the east every single day. So it does get warmer. What about long-term here? Long-term, it looks like temperatures are going to stay above average anywhere from the 12th to the 16th. So what we said last week was we said the first week of April, looking very active. That came to fruition. The second week of April, looking much quieter. It's looking pretty promising to stick to that plan. Then we said the third week of April, so we're getting into that there. The 14th through the 21st looks to be more active once again, okay? So we see lots of activity the first week, quieter the second week, lots of activity the third week of April. So what do we need for storm activity? We need the heat. Looks like we're going to get it. But we also need the moisture, and that has not come back yet. Even in our long-term models, it looks like we're staying drier than average, which is not going to lead to an active weather pattern. So we'll have to see if we can get that moisture back as we get closer to the 20th. If we can, we're going to see more chances for severe weather. If we can't, it may stay pretty quiet. So we'll have to see what happens over the next few days, but of course we'll be tracking it. We don't just track those short-term forecasts, what's going to happen in the next hour, but also what are we looking for within the next few weeks. As always, for any weather questions, make sure that you put those in the comments and we'll get back to you. I'm pretty good about going after the live and looking at the comments and then responding to anything that we didn't get to today, but if you have any weather questions, put those in the comment section. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And if you're interested in a hail, wind, or tornado map that we mapped over the last 24 hours or over the last 10 years, we've got it for you. Give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com. Head over to our website for more information, hailtrace.com. All right, have a good Monday afternoon. We'll see you back here for your forecast, same time, same place tomorrow.